So, yesterday, they came up to me and said, darling, I've done something really bad. Oh no, it's really bad. And I was like, sweetheart, how bad is this on a scale of I broke a glass to marriage ending? And she went, halfway to marriage ending? Darling, what is it? And she had left my pills, 2 days worth of one of my pills in KO. Oh dear. One of my pills, which is a controlled substance that I had to get hold of. Can't buy over the counter in the UK. Bum. And it's a real problem because the withdrawal was pretty bad. And it also affects my heart murmur. I was like, I'm sorry, darling, this is vital information. What? But she'd only realised because she'd done my full week's worth of pills for this part of the trip. But this part of the trip, 9 days long, she needed to carry 2 days worth of extra pills. And you're too distracted. Well, off to search we go, because we asked at reception to phone around various pharmacies and see who has it. And apparently you can buy it over the counter in Malaysia. So we're off to go try that one. We rang around to every clinic. We found one that says they have it. They're on the way. It better not be shut for lunch. Drama successfully solved. We have got the medication. I have taken my medication. And I have more for this evening, which is excellent. She has solved it. Solved the issue. Good job. Good thing that we are also travelling with 2 doctors. My father-in-law is a specialist in pain medicines. Very helpful. He has retired. But he's a specialist in pain medicines, which I take a lot of. Handy. And my sister-in-law is a pediatrician. So useful. We, especially in children, we have one of those. Fantastic. Absolutely. Whenever we see a tiny rash or have a problem, we feel that she is the person we go to. This constant nosebleeds, she's the person. Absolutely forgot to tell you earlier, very key part of the story, but 6 of these pills, which take 3 a night, they cost 3 ringgit. Well, that's incredible. I should be less panicked whenever we are travelling ever again. It was surprisingly easy to solve that problem. So, yay.
Well, hello. So, one of the biggest questions I'm always asked is travelling in the tropics with a chronic illness, that's got to suck, because heat doesn't generally tend to work particularly well with bodies that have their own issues, that are a little different, shall we say. Kind of true, but also not. Has its quirks. I tend to find it's actually easier for me to be in Malaysia than it is to be in England in a heat wave, which may be a combination of it's expected to be hot here, so a lot of things are already put in place, such as there's aircon everywhere. Not everywhere, not every single place has aircon. A lot of the restaurants or little shops that we go to with Claudia's family do not have aircon because they're just local places. The houses or apartments or hotels that we go to, the big shopping malls, all have aircon, which is great. But in England, we don't. generally it seems to be a shock to be two Americans, I find. All American friends are like, why do you not have aircon in your house? Like, why would we? Why would we? Although last summer we did actually put aircon in to our house, in the kitchen and in Rupert's bedroom and then in the little room next to Rupert's room. And we did that at the end of the summer heat wave, and it got used for maybe 3 days, and then the heat wave ended. You know, it will be ready for this year's 5-week heat wave, so that's good. We won't feel horrendous. The second reason that I feel okay in Malaysia when we're traveling around is that I'm just more prepared. I have things here that I just don't think about at home. I very much come out here like with my bag packed, ready, everything in my mind, good to go. The same way that when I know I'm getting on a plane with Rupert, I will pack lots of things in his bag for him to play with, and changes of clothes and just all that kind of stuff, items, things we might need. If we were just at home going down to the park, sometimes we'll get there and go, oh no, we've forgotten a change of clothes, we've forgotten the ball that he wanted to kick around. So I wanted to share with you my actual little bag. It's not little. I wanted to share with you what's in my bag. What do I put in my bag to take to Malaysia that genuinely helps me deal with having a chronic illness while I'm out here? Now, heat and sun exposure can, of course, aggravate symptoms of various chronic illnesses and autoimmune conditions. That might be lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. It can be migraines. Definitely, if I'm not using these items, my migraines are going to be so much worse. Yeah, I've not been getting my TMJ Botox anymore because the NHS have stopped doing that. Cool. So that's a thing. So I'm slightly worried about getting more migraines because of that, because as you can see, yeah, this side is starting to grow again. I'll get my big jaw back on one side. Oh, it does hurt, but it's fine. As long as the pain stays down here, then it's okay. It's just when it then travels up to the rest of my head, that's when it's difficult to live with, because it's difficult to think when your whole head hurts. It's not what we're talking about right now, though. No, we're talking about the heat. It's not just chronic illness, obviously, that can increase someone's risk, though. It could be because you might have heart disease, high blood pressure, or even just really poor circulation. So these tips will also apply to cases like those. Firstly, it goes without saying, but although you can go on vacation, your healthcare shouldn't. That's a very bad joke. I know, I'm sorry about that. Number 1, ask about your medicines. Check in with your doctor before you go. Make sure that you have all of the medication for the whole journey and a little bit extra, because you do not want to be stuck somewhere and a volcano goes off in another part of the world and then you can't fly or you lose your bags. Make sure you separate your medication into different bags. Don't let your medication get checked in. Carry it with you in hand luggage all time. Also make sure you have a prescription letter from your doctor to travel with, because sometimes you get stopped and they say, hey, what's all this medication? This is definitely all your medication. Are you absolutely sure about that? That seems like a lot of medication. So yeah, make sure that you get a written letter from the doctor that says this is this person's medication. They are free to travel with it. I am their doctor. Signed. I get mine from my GP. Even though they are not the actual doctor that prescribed me my medications, because I have like a medication from my neurologist, all the different things. But the primary care doctor can be the person who just writes you that one letter. You don't need all the different people to write different letters. It's also important to check in with your doctor because one of your medications might be a little counterintuitive to heat. You might be totally fine when you're taking that medication at home, but when you go to a very different climate, also check in if you're going somewhere really cold. Your medication might have a little bit of a different reaction, and it would be good to know about that ahead of time. What if it makes you really, really sleepy in the heat? Something you'd want to know. Also, who knows? Your doctor may actually have some useful tips for minimizing the risk of a flare-up. Sometimes doctors have useful tips. I know some good doctors. I've had some bad experiences with doctors, but I have had some lovely experiences with people who happen to be doctors. Let's just say that. I really wish I had
had those people as doctors, but unfortunately, none of them work in the specialties that I need. I need to make some friends who work in the specialties I need. Number 2, floaty clothes. Wear a wide-brimmed hat, sunglasses, and lightweight long-sleeve clothes. Not only does this help prevent sunburns, but if you have a condition that's a little bit sensitive to sun or UV rays, like me, my goodness, did you also spend your childhood trying to explain to your parents that the sun hurt your skin? Just me? Yeah, well, EDS. Why you do me like that? Why? It's really important to cover up your skin, stay out of the sun from between 11 to 3, all of that kind of thing. I'm now on my 4th trip to Malaysia, and I think I'm just about figuring out what's actually the best type of clothing for me to be wearing. What I've realized is that obviously it's very different, the type of thing that works in an English summer, Malaysian year-round hot weather. I love a good summer dress in England, but the fabric is generally cotton. It's much heavier, even if it has a strappy top. I mean, I'm probably going to be throwing a cardigan over it because who knows. And even in the heat waves in England, it's just a very different type of heat and definitely not as humid. Whereas out here, big skirts, it's not working for me, no. There has to be a much floatier type of fabric. Yes, sunscreen. Yeah, Garnier Ambre Solaire. Does that make anyone else think of summer, just the smell? Because a sunburn can make it really difficult for your body to cool down, which is going to increase your risk for any kind of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Number 3, shoes that stretch. I know, you're probably thinking, what? That's not the world's most sensible shoe. And I'm not saying it has to be. I personally have to cycle through a number of different shoes every holiday. Sorry, my shoe doesn't look like the newest, best shoe in the world. I wanted to show you a shoe I actually use, okay? Offensive of my shoe. But because I have to wear a different shoe every 6 hours, basically. Like every time we leave the room and then come back, I have to change my shoes because my feet get sores on them because they grow in the heat. So I buy shoes that are bigger, obviously, than my feet. So they will accommodate that, which makes sense. But the skin on my feet is very thin, tears easily because it's so swollen. Did you need that info? I don't know. But if you also have EDS, hooray! Relatable, very annoying, and to avoid having to fully plaster / bandage my foot, I just cycle through different shoes. And having a shoe that is made of soft material, make sure you like the plastic shoes. People are like, oh my god, I love the plastic shoes. No, absolutely not. Cannot do it, absolutely not. They have to have a little bit of give in them, or else my foot is the thing that will give. It cuts in deep and I can't feel it until someone goes, who's trailing that blood? I'm like, and that's how you get an infection in the tropics. It's a very basic shoe, but very helpful. Next up, neck fans. I know. And it looks like you're one of those cool people that wears headphones. But no, it's a neck fan. It cools your entire neck area. Probably have to move your hair out of the way, obviously. This is just for demonstration purposes. Actually really great. Got this tip from my friend Maida. Thanks, Maida. But really, really, really genius. You can recharge it up there. Very easy, on the go. Whip it out. Keeps you very nice and cool. I find I get very hot in the neck region. I get a lot of migraines because my neck, lower head area gets overheated. And this is really helpful for me in just cooling that area down, something that I very much need. And also it keeps your hands free, which is not to say that a good old-fashioned fan can't be incredibly useful. Of course it can. And, you know, it's much prettier. I'll give you that. Yeah, I think it's much prettier. Good to have a high-tech option. Also, folds up. Handy. And it's genuinely not that heavy for something that can give you a lot of relief. If you're walking around a night market, a daytime market. I think that's just called a market, to be honest. Any kind of sightseeing, would highly recommend having this. If you can convince your child to wear it, also brilliant. They do, I think, make child size ones, although Rupert's really keen on this little handheld spinning fan thing that we have. Make sure the spaces are too small for them to stick their fingers through. Okay, something that gets me every time we're here, bug bites. Ooh. I have a very weird nerve condition, weird to explain. I have holes in the myelin sheath, the protective coating of my nerves. And for some reason, it means that my nerves are useless and I don't feel them. And half of them are just hypersensitive all the time. And really, I really feel them. I really, really feel them. So sometimes I will bump into something, genuinely don't care. Humongous bruise down the side of my leg, do not care. Massive black bruise, uncaring. And then I will have the tiniest, tiddliest bruise, teeny, right here. And I will be like, this is agony. I am dying. Absolutely no reason there. No reason. But it will have managed to have hit one of those nerves that decided it cared that day. So it was going to work. And somehow the mosquitoes seem to know where those nerves are. I don't know how. I'm guessing they've got a map, but they seem to bite near those nerves. So a lot of bug spray, a lot of roll-ons, a lot of mosquito repellent bracelets have been used by us this day, and we've managed to get some insect repellent that is toddler safe. So we have did a lot of research before coming out, trying to find things that would be safe for Rupert to be around and safe for Rupert to be touching, because I just don't need repeats of the oh no, I've touched the bug spray and put it in my eye. And I've clearly absolutely given up on numbering this list because I lost count. Timed water bottles. Ta-da! Claudia and I have matching water bottles. She will tell you that's not intentional. She bought hers first, and then I bought one. This is clearly mine. It's pink. I find this really helpful, not because I don't drink enough, but because I drink from too many glasses. I'm one of those people. So I have a drink, and then I take the drink somewhere in the house, and I put it down, and I go and get another drink, but I've forgotten where the glass was. So now I just have to get another glass, and then I fill up the glass, I have the drink, I wander off somewhere else, and then I put that glass down, and then I go back to the kitchen for another drink, and in no time at all, apparently there are no glasses now. And then I have to search the house, gathering my glasses, and bring them back to the kitchen. And Claudia is like, where on earth are all the glasses? Why has this happened again? It's only 11 a.m. And I think we should get more glasses. And she says that's ridiculous because 12 glasses should be enough for 2 adults. Debatable. Let me know in the comments down below. How many glasses do you have in your house per adult? Rupert has his own glasses, by the way. He has 3 small glasses available to him at any one time, but we have 3 more on the shelf that he can't reach, but we replace. So he has 6, and we have 6 each. See, it's perfectly fine, according to her. I think we should have more. No, I have the bottle now. That was my point. The bottle. And now we're traveling. The bottle helps me because I can't find glasses because we're traveling. All right, and my very last tip is just salt. When you sweat, your body loses important salt and minerals, which can increase your risk for heat exhaustion. You can always ask your doctor about the safest way for you to increase your salt, or you can eat a pack of crisps, which is what I do. Actually, it's probably not the healthiest way. I also use it as a trick for migraines. FYI, if you eat a bag of crisps and drink a Diet Coke, the salt in your crisps helps the caffeine in the Diet Coke. That was unrelated to food. Salt, though. Have some good salty food. So there you go. I hope you have enjoyed a little look into some of the things that are really helpful for me when I'm traveling. Have we even mentioned baby wipes, though? Make sure you're always carrying a pack of baby wipes, because you just never know when you're going to need them. You're always going to need them. One of the key things you should always remember, of course, is to touch base with your friends and family. Check in and make sure that they're doing okay in the heat, particularly if you know that they suffer from any conditions which may make hot weather a little bit harder for them. And ask someone to do the same for you. We are going, Connie.
You're not being tracked. I'm being tagged by this tiny person behind me.
Yeah, it's following us.
Just constant narration.
Yeah, and then we turn around.
We're walking to dinner. We're gonna go outside the hotel tonight to one of our favourite places, which does really nice tofu mushrooms, if Rupert can make it that far.
He is babbling in both sign and speech at this point.
He didn't have a nap today, so he's pretty tired.
Yeah, keep going. You'll find Mr. Owl.
Mr. Owl.
Some good Mr. Owl love right there. Be sure of him the respect that he deserves.
Mommy did it.
Oh, that was... Wow, she's really adding something to this. I feel cheated. Hang on. Yeah, exactly, Rupert.
Give it a hug.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, good. Now we can go. Traveling with a toddler right now. He hasn't had a nap all day, so we're letting him nap right now, which may be giving ourselves a bad evening, sure. But we get to have like a date dinner, which is very exciting.